I hope that you guys, I hope that you can hear me. Can y'all hear me? Mic test 1 2 1 2. If you come on, please let me know whether or not you can hear me. Because I'd hate to be up here pouring my little heart out and talking and y'all can't even hear me. Hello to the one viewer that's here. Can you hear me? Can you please let me know whether or not you can hear me? It could be, um, yay! Hey, Joy, how are you? Okay, I'm gonna hurry up and jump into this because one baby girl is tired. She goes to sleep around 10. She be fighting and pushing it, but I just want to make sure that I get these messages out. I had already started and I was initially just going to record a video and then upload this. She said, I'm well, how are you, girl? I'm doing pretty good too, but I'm gonna have to tell some truths, baby. So basically, I'm going through a lot of, I think, the same types of energy that this reading is going to talk about. So let me just hop into that. So the overall energy from my Black Moon astrology deck card says Pluto transformation. And this energy is deep psychological um transformation, and basically that's where everything takes root in our minds, in our psyches, right? So with that being said, a lot of the things that have personally come up for me with what I'm personally working on is um emotional things that have regulated the way that I connect with men for as long as I can remember. So with that, no, mommy. So with that being said, I a lot of things that have been coming up in my own personal relationship right now with my baby's fathers. I mean, with my baby's father, I'm realizing, of course, and I've always known it, but it's like it's coming back up again. That girl, this is deep rooted with your own issues with your dad and with my mom, for that matter. So, with that being said, you know, it's just coming up to be dealt with again, and it's literally I've been saying prayers like, God, if this ain't it, release, remove, clear this energy for me, through me. And then also I had to write like some letters to my childhood self, freeing me from, and not only freeing me, but freeing these men, right? Freeing these men from the expectations that I have that stem from what I felt like I was missing from my father, right? So this is what my Plutos have been bringing up for me. Um, So that's just a little bit of my business and how it correlates to my life. And I don't know how it's coming up for you guys, but it's baby, I'm talking about boo-hoo crying like in the wee hours of the morning, 2 and 3 a.m. in the morning. And this stuff is coming up, right? It's coming up in a way that I cannot not deal with it. Um, it's even showing up right in everything that we're getting to see on our timelines, no matter what the social platform is. No matter what no matter what the social platform is, it's showing up. So, for example, on my Instagram, on my TikTok, I'm seeing so many things that either support the way that I have felt about men and my reasonings why, or it's challenging it and causing me to have to reevaluate, place value, take value from over here and put it in different places. So this is what this transformation is looking like personally for me. But then also, let's talk about this head of mine, right? My hair. Um, and even for me, in the way that I have been dressing, the way that I've been doing my makeup. Okay. So with that being said, it's a lot of changes, honest to God. I feel most powerful with my hair short like this. What's going on, mama girl? You trying to turn around? What is it? What is it, sleepy head? What is it? Yeah. You sleepy, mama. You sleepy. Come on. It's okay. All right, so that's just the overall energy, period. Right out the gate, they're talking about big, deep changes that we're going through, okay? Now, the ninth house card came out, the ninth house faith card. This is my card associated with Jupiter, associated with the sign of Sagittarius. Um, if I didn't say anything about the Pluto, that's associated with Scorpio. Now, for me, the ninth house faith card could deal with international travel or just travel, period. It could deal with spiritual modality, spiritual healing information, elevation, expansion, right? So these transformations could also be taking place in the things that we say we believe. Okay? So, yeah, our religious beliefs could be undergoing changes, right? You might want to pay attention to wherever Pluto currently is in your chart and also where it is natally for you. That might matter. Joy says, I have noticed it on social media and the transformation. What you share is beautiful. Girl, thank you so much. Thank you so much for talking about it because baby, it's it really is happening and it's a big shift. For me, I'm a huge advocate for women, right? And women's issues. And on my other video that I was trying to record, um, I was talking about how when I was pulling cards for myself, but I know that I'm connected to the collective, the from the same deck, the Cancer the fourth house card came up, the roots. So that deals with ancestry, that deals with the mother, and that deals with your residence, your home residence. And it also deals with your father. So all of these issues. I've been really following this movement lately that talks about tell somebody, and that is directly connected, if you ask me, to mothers and daughters and the divine feminine energy as it pertains to and boys for that matter, and who grow up to be men and fathers. So that's talking about things like sexual abuse. And so I have been getting so activated and triggered both for the positive and the negative following that movement. Especially because for me, I really, really have a heart for that because I've been through that before. And I know I'm not the only person, right? So that is also, right, a part of why my mind works the way that it does. Like, and why I felt the way that I have felt about men and relationships. And it even is talking about like, oh, wait a minute, Scorpio deals with the genitals and the genitalia. So of course, and the reproductive system and sex and power, aggression, control, attraction. See, so it makes great sense. Let me get ready to put this baby down, y'all. She's so tired. She's fighting it. But yeah, I'll be right back. But again, all of these things are culminating and they're coming up. They're being exposed. They're being talked about. And one, I think it's great, but it also it's like a war. It can rile people up. It makes people angry. They get mad about that. Joy says yes, and then she says yes. I just saw a post talking about mother trauma. Yeah, like it touches everything, right? The mother and father wounds touch everything. It touches our value, our self-worth, and our self-worth. Do you know? I know that this is not a lie because I see it in my own life. Our value and our self-worth are directly tied to the amount of money we make. Our focus on money and material wealth and positions and how we attract them to ourselves and how we get them, how we treat them, and things like that. And when you have poor self-worth, and it's not that you intend to have poor self-worth, right? But it's just this could be a lack of boundaries, a lack of so-called discipline, a lack of focus, right? These things can be, I'm not going to say they're the end all, but they can sometimes be to our detriment. So I've noticed that a lot of people who have experienced all forms of trauma, but especially childhood sexual trauma, we are the people who are neurodivergent. We are some of the most neurodivergent people who are also spiritual. They don't all have to be spiritual, but if I have found in my own observation of myself and of other people that if you've experienced that, you tend to like it somehow activates spiritual gifts. It does. And not just sexual abuse, other forms of abuse, anything that can alter the psychology of your mind, which most abuse does, it activates also within you spiritual gifts. So, with that being said, ninth house faith, that is also connected to this energy. Now, the next card that came out with was the sixth house routine card, which can deal with our health, physical body, physical body. Hold on, y'all. Let me go ahead and get her down. Give me 1 minute. If y'all want to, you can flow with what you're feeling and what you're picking up too in the chat, and I can come back and read it. Come on, girl. Let's get you some rest, honey, okay? Because you're so sleepy. My baby. Oh, 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 my sugar dumpling. Let me turn this around like this because I want you to be able to see. Yeah. All right. Okay, I'm back, y'all. Joy said, "Oh wow," and then she also said, "That's how I feel. I'm working on rebuilding my self worth." Yes, girl, me too. And of course, one of the things that I have found really does help me, aside from my faith and my walk with the Most High, that always did, and really and truly, it's the talking that I do with my higher self, which I believe is that part of the Most High that we all have in us, right? So, but astrology does that for me too. I think that's why I'm so fixated on it because, and I'm not just talking about us like knowing what our sun sign is and knowing what our moon and rising sign. I'm talking about those deeper planets, the Plutos, that just knowing the houses, what they represent. That to me is like the equivalent of us seeking the kingdom that dwells within ourselves. It teaches me so much about the power that I possess, even down to your degrees, guys, the degrees that planets are at, or the degrees that your sign is at, that all matters. And it matters, like, to me, I would say it matters a big deal because the degrees, um, they are the details about you. They're the details about what you like, what you don't like, all of that kind of stuff. But anyway, back to the sixth house routine. The sixth house routine talks about our health and our physical body, but it can also talk about our work schedules, our work routines. Okay. So with this Pluto transformation over here and this fate card, right? What I get the vibe of is it's making us, like, it's bringing the bridge of how your spirituality is supposed to have you looking. I hope that makes sense. Like your spirituality, your faith, your walk is actually supposed to show up in your body. And this doesn't necessarily mean that we have to be like thin and all that kind of stuff, but you do need to be healthy, right? And this is something that the ancients used to know. I think they used to know this, they used to promote this, but now we've gotten away from it with abstract thinking, and I don't think abstract thinking is terrible, but when it's wrapped in untruths, that's what makes it bad. So, for example, a lot of our health ailments could be coming up. And if they're not coming up, your body and your spirit is just telling you how you need to start paying attention to your body. You need to start taking care of your health. You need to start watching your diet, what you're eating, what you are putting into your body physically, but then also what you're putting into your mind and your spirit. What are you feeding yourself, right? These are themes that are coming up again to be explored. And what I love about the Most High God and the way the spirit and the stars and everything works is this stuff will keep on coming up until we address it, right? Until we actually address it. She also says yes, and she says, "I feel so lost studying astrology." Oh man, I wonder why. Like, what is it what are you looking into right now? I would always say go with your own interests. Go with what you are actually interested in. Sometimes those interests change depending on so much, like depending on who you're dealing with, depending on where you are in your life, what you're struggling with. So I would use those things. She says, I don't know where to start. I have a question. Do you like learning about yourself? Like, do you like hearing about yourself? Strengths, weaknesses? And even if it's not the case, like what do you like? What do you like in life? What things attract you? What things excite you? What things piss you off? These are some places that you can start to look for them in astrology. So, because I have a little bit of familiarity with you, I would say that for you, you might want to start in your Venus energy, see where your Venus sign is and what that means for you. For example, Venus deals with attraction, but it could also deal with like our physical beauty. You might also want to look at where Taurus and Libra might be in your chart because those are Venus ruled zodiac signs, which deal with aesthetics and beauty. But with this sixth house routine card and all these three together, you guys, I really feel like one of the biggest messages I was getting before my storage ran out was that those of us who have been, undergoing all of this psychological transformation per our faith, per what we believe was important really deep down for us. This is how we're going to expand even with our work. Like there are some of you guys, like myself, you are not okay working a traditional 9 to 5 job. Like I believe that for some of you, you feel super called to work a job that spirituality is heavily encoded into the fabric of your work. And I see that with this Pluto transformation and with this faith and sixth house routine card, right? So I just wanted to put that out there. So now I'm going to move on from that energy. She says, no, I don't really like hearing about myself from other people, but self-exploration, yes. So I wasn't talking about from other people. I was talking about you. And furthermore, like even if it's from other people, like other people's perspective of you, you can use other people's perspective to just as a springing board. And then you have to go within yourself, right? So for example, let's just keep it real simple and say that you start to go look into your sun sign. You are the sun sign that you are. You go and you read about what other people say about your sign. Maybe while you're reading, you're like, no, that doesn't really sound like me, right? And then you read another person's interpretation, and then like, okay, now that sounds more correct. You may even go to another sign that sounds more like your sun sign and how you behave naturally. So just using other people are they could be springing boards, or of course you could just listen to yourself and then look for information that supports what you know about you. Okay, so moving on. Out of my crystal deck, the first cards that I pulled were Amazonite and Symbiote, and both of these cards were talking about everyday life. So I'm guessing like what people would call the mundane. Here's what it says for Amazonite. This is what Amazonite looks like. This is like a polished stone. There is a lot of electromagnetic energy in the air that are caused by various things like microwaves and cell phones. This stone acts as a filter for that pollution. It opens the throat and heart chakras and allows you to see and speak your truth without the static of everyday life drowning you out. So, one, static interference, same thing. Distraction, static interference, same thing. So I also feel like this makes sense for the psychics. This makes sense for those who are oracles, right? Because static is about noise, right? It's about things that can take away and distort the message or totally wipe the message out and off. This is also making me think about that scripture talking about cast your cares on. It's not about casting your cares, but it does have something to do with the cares of the world, like giving your cares to the universe, and then you just working and taking on the work of searching and seeking the kingdom within yourself, because that's a lighter burden, even though some people don't think so. Some people find that to be harder than getting up and just doing certain things all willy-nilly. So being able to rid your mind, your body, your energetic your energetic centers, excuse me, from other people's energy, from other people's messaging. This is what Amazonite the stone can deal with. This second stone was also about that. She says, "Can you post the cards to your story?" I'll do my best. Absolutely, I will do my best. Here's Amazonite here. Symbiote is the next card, and it says this. This stone is often mistaken for amber, and like amber, it emits a warm and powerful energy. It has been known to wake up the chakras and provide motivation. So, holding this in your hand during meditation seems to lift your spirit out of the fog of everyday life. There's that everyday life thing, distraction, fog, right? Here is the overall energy from the deck. It says rhodochrosite. Can y'all see that? It's like a pretty pink stone. Here's what this says. Rhodochrosite helps you face each day with a positive attitude. This stone helps you express your feelings in a positive way, opening the lines of communication without fear. This is a powerful tool for anyone who has difficulty expressing themselves. Didn't I say that this is for the, I feel like this is for the oracles. This is for the people. Whew, men and women. This is gender inclusive, just as the spirit is. So already, I feel like healing is taking place. Period. Healing is taking place so that your thoughts can be clear. That way, you can speak clearly to whomever. Rhodochrosite is also a stone that is connected to love. So, and relationships. So, if there's some friendships, if there are relationships that are undergoing transformation, where some of us are going to have to break up, or some of us are bare minimum going to have to ask for much needed space, you know, space so that we can figure out who we are, what it is that we truly want. You've got to be able to articulate that without being afraid, because fear is what keeps some of us in relationships longer than what we should be. Okay, guys, I'm going to end this live right here. I don't want it to be too long and drawn out. I am coming back to do the tarot, but that's just the energy. Okay, that's just the energy right there. I will come back and I'll do a general and collective tarot card reading. Before I go, let me leave y'all with these. Hold on. This is the last of the energy cards. This is called the metaphysical. I want to say metaphysical marijuana or metaphysical cannabis deck, something like that. It's so beautiful. Numo Namo. Change. Change. That makes sense. Change is happening though. It looks like a reptile of some sort. Like a dragon. The overall the overall energy is Eton. Eton. And it says seduction. So here's the thing. This is what I think is happening. Either this is the energy that we have to work in, or I feel like this is what some of us are going to be shifting away from. Like seduction makes me think about manipulation sometimes. Even though that's not the only word, seduction can be magnetic, alluring, right? But I feel like this is about possibly being seduced and pulled away from something, away from your truth, away from your path even. And so these changes that we're undergoing psychologically and spiritually, I feel like they're meant to get us back on track. That's what I feel. And thus breaking the spell of seduction, of illusion. Because look, in this card, people are bound. They have like ropes and stuff on them, chains. So, with that being said, Joy says, "Are you live only here?" Right now, I am. But I do sometimes go live over on Facebook. But for this moment, I'm just live here. Yeah. Freedom is the card right underneath this. Right underneath the seduction card is freedom. So and this change, like I really feel like if you've been bound in something, again, it could be your mind, your own thoughts, right? Thoughts that you were led to believe because of anything, low vibrational energy. It could have been the abuse, like I mentioned. It could have been fear of not having someone, fear of your standards being too high, fear of whatever. You got to put, I used to fear whatever you feared, right? But that's what is undergoing this shift, undergoing this change. And hopefully only the truth will remain, which will set you free. That is the end of this reading. This part, I'm coming right back to go ahead and do the tarot. And then I'm going to let y'all go. I'm going to try to go fast through this tarot. Peace, love, light, and darkness, which all work together to bring balance and harmony, first within ourselves and then within our world, you guys. Be ready for the replay. It'll come back later, okay? Thank you to everyone who just stopped by for a moment. I appreciate you all, okay? Bye, you guys. Oh, wait. Hold on. Another message for this seduction and freedom thing is it's possible that using your powers of seduction could be what provides freedom. Okay, I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it right there. All right, guys. Bye-bye. I'll be back. Literally, I'm coming right back. So if any of this made sense for you and resonated, then come on back for the tarot. Okay. Bye, y'all.